Okay, we're live. Hello, good afternoon, and welcome back to another session of the Hindu analysis. Today is 7th of March, a beautiful Friday afternoon. And आज का हिंदू एनालिसिस होता है स्पेशल क्योंकि टुडे इज फ्राइडे एंड ऑन फ्राइडे क्या होता है फ्राइडे को हम करते हैं मेंटी क्विज and I hope all of you have come prepared for that Menti quiz. So the plan of action is कि जल्दी से हम अपना न्यूज़पेपर एनालिसिस करेंगे, उसके बाद हम vocabulary करेंगे, and उसके बाद we will do our Menti quiz. How many of you are here with me on the session, live, watching, listening? If I'm audible and visible, I would appreciate some responses. Jaldi se in the chat box. I can see Ibrahim, I can see Yashashri. Hello guys, welcome to the class. Good afternoon. So let me just quickly get the presentation going for you guys and begin. Okay, so it's 7th of March. कल है 8th of March, of course. And क्योंकि कल हमारी मुलाकात नहीं होगी, so I'll just take a quick second to wish all the wonderful women a very happy Women's Day in advance. So first आ गया मैं. And yeah, that's all. ठीक है, चलो. Let's look at the agenda for the day. The three topics which we are going to discuss today is AI Kosh. AI Kosh is a data platform developed by Government of India, where we would be using data sets to create our own version of ChatGPT or DeepSeek, basically an AI model suited for India. It's part of the India AI mission, and we'll talk more about this in detail. On the second topic, we have women in corporate leadership. Now, both of these editorial articles are, of course, in context of the upcoming Women's Day on 8th of March. And they talk about, the first one talks about how women participation in corporate leadership is increasing and has increased in the past few years. But there's still a long way to go, still a long road to tread. And what are the things around it? Then the third article talks about a broader context. So the second one is about just corporate leadership. The third one is about women in general, progress with respect to gender safety, progress with respect to equality, progress with respect to employment opportunities, progress with respect to healthcare infrastructure, progress with respect to maternity benefits. वो सारी चीज़ों का डिस्कशन यहाँ पे हुआ है. This is in context with the Beijing conference, which happened back in 1995, where representatives from 180 plus countries met, and they deliberated and consolidated some gender equality related guidelines and agendas. So उसकी बात करेंगे हम थोड़ी सी डिटेल में, and that is the plan for the day. Then, of course, we'll be doing our 3 new words for the day vocabulary mein. And at last, we have our Menti quiz, a short Menti quiz of 10 questions. And the topic for today's Menti quiz is February K current affairs. Interesting quiz. I would call it a moderate level quiz. It's not too easy. It's not too difficult. You guys would love it. Chalo, are we ready to begin? If I'm audible and visible and we are ready to begin, can I have a very quick yes in the chat box so that we can start? Good afternoon, Natasha. Good afternoon, SP. Good afternoon, Ashnoor. Very good afternoon to all of you. Are we ready? Am I audible? Am I visible? Also, एक और बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट चीज मुझे आप लोगों को बतानी है बिफोर वी बिगिन. सो जो इतने दिन से मैं सस्पेंस बिल्डअप कर रहा था कि मैं एक डिफरेंट सा सेशन लेने वाला हूँ, एक स्पेशल सा सेशन लेने वाला हूँ, दैट इज हैपनिंग टुडे एट 8 PM इफ आई एम नॉट रॉन्ग. सो मैं वो आपको दिखा देता हूँ कि व्हाट इज दैट ऑल अबाउट, so that you guys can attend it. So, 1 minute दो मुझे. Yeah. Okay, so I hope you can see my screen. So we are starting a new series, and you can see the thumbnail on your screen. It's called Learn English from Noob to Pro Max. Creative name, I know, but the point of this particular series is to help you guys become more comfortable with English. Not just speaking English, but interpreting English. Comprehending English. So this would be a series which would be very beginner friendly. And अगर आपको English नहीं समझ आती, अगर आपको long sentences नहीं समझ आते, अगर आपको English read करने में ज़्यादा time लगता है या समझने में ज़्यादा time लगता है, I would be breaking it down into very digestible chunks and very easy to follow approach. ठीक है, mostly हम हिंदी में बात करेंगे इसमें क्योंकि we are talking about लर्निंग इंग्लिश फॉर पीपल आर नॉट कंफर्टेबल विद द लैंग्वेज। तो मोस्टली जो है भाषा का प्रयोग यहाँ पे हिंदी में होगा। एंड ये जो सीरीज है, दिस इज नॉट जस्ट फॉर अ क्लैट एस्पिरेंट, ऑफ कोर्स इट्स बेनिफिशियल फॉर अ क्लैट एस्पिरेंट, दिस इज ऑल्सो बेनिफिशियल फॉर anyone in your family who wants to get comfortable with understanding English as a language. So it could be your house help, it could be your the kids of your house help, it could be your parents, it could be your relatives, it could be your cousins, it could be your friends. So just spread out the word and ask people to tune in today and देखते हैं कैसा जाता है। मेरे लिए भी this is a new experiment we are trying. It could be a flop show, it could be super hit, it all depends, we'll see how it goes, but हाँ, एक नई चीज ट्राई कर रहे हैं, तो बस आप लोगों को मुझे बताना था। ठीक है जी। चलो अब हम चलते हैं आज के अपने न्यूज़पेपर पे। लेट मी जस्ट गेट द न्यूज़पेपर फॉर यू गाइस। ओके, all right, so this is the newspaper for the day. Many of Trump's priorities work for India, says our Foreign Minister Jaishankar. US administration's interest in multipolarity, technology, and connectivity is promising, says the minister. He also welcomes initiative that will keep energy prices affordable. So yeah, I mean that's the statement. इसमें कुछ analyze करने को तो नहीं है. It is just a straightforward statement. Unblock Vikatan site once it temporarily removes cartoon, says High Court. So recently Madras High Court ने कहा कि भाई जो है साइट है उसको रिस्टोर कर दो आप एंड कार्टून वहां से हटा दो टेम्परली। कार्टून किसका? कार्टून इन्होंने मोदी जी का कार्टून बना दिया था। वी टॉक्ड अबाउट दिस। दे पब्लिश्ड अ कार्टून ऑफ प्राइम मिनिस्टर मोदी ट्रैप्ड इन चेन्स while he was meeting Donald Trump in USA, and this was in context with the whole क्या बोलते हैं यार, illegal immigrants being sent back to India in chains. So that was the satirical dig which this particular magazine called Vikatan took. If Pakistan vacates POK, Kashmir issue would be solved, says our foreign minister. Nice. I hope that happens. Okay. What else do we have? City news is not important. We can skip this right ahead. Marandi election elected BJP's legislature. This is not important. PM bats for winter tourism in Uttarakhand. Okay. So आज के न्यूज़पेपर में, like I went through this, there's not a lot of takeaways from a competitive point of view in today's newspaper, but we'll just skim through it, spend like 5-7 minutes, and see if we can find anything important. This we've already discussed. This is all politics. Again, all politics, nothing important here. JNK to promote Bangus Valley near LOC for ecotourism. LOC यहाँ पे means line of control, which is the border between India and Pakistan. So यहाँ पे tourism develop होने की बात चल रही है. Bangus is a far off tourist spot near the LOC in North Kashmir. It's a very beautiful place. Like I've seen pictures, not just this picture, I've seen other pictures. Beautiful valleys in Kashmir. There is Bangus Valley, there is Gurez Valley, lovely places. It's on my bucket list. Anyway, moving ahead, the limitation exercise will hit Punjab and Haryana, says Tiwari. Okay, no more filing of FIRs against Udyanidhi over remarks. Supreme Court refuses to be drawn into Maharashtra's attack on DMK leader in open court over his Sanatan Dham remarks. Chief Justice says court will not be dealing with the merits of the case. Kyun? Why would Supreme Court not deal with the merits of the case? Does anyone know the reason behind this? Supreme Court is more of a court of appeal, and Supreme Court primarily decides case on the basis of whether it is lawful or unlawful or constitutional or unconstitutional. Merits पे discussion जो है वो आपके district courts में होता है एंड कभी कभी हाई कोर्ट्स में भी होता है, बट मोस्टली हाई कोर्ट एंड सुप्रीम कोर्ट में मेरिट्स पे डिस्कशन नहीं होता है केस के। मेरिट्स जो है डिस्ट्रिक्ट कोर्ट में डिस्कस किए जाते हैं। दिस इज जस्ट अ थिंग व्हिच यू गाइस शुड नो एज अपकमिंग लॉयर्स। Okay, Ambedkar University suspends students for indiscipline. Delhi police resumes drive to identify illegal immigrants. Okay. Okay. You can just skip all this. Editorial section. Women in corporate leadership, the lived reality. So they talk about how we are going to celebrate Women's Day tomorrow and how companies will attempt to showcase steps taken towards inclusion and increase of women in workforce. लेकिन असली reality ये है कि अभी भी corporate में the participation of women is quite meager. They say that women who comprise 48% of corporate America's workforce are reeling from the aftershock of this order. What order? DEI का order आया, which encourages the private sector to end DEI preference hirings, which is going to put a barrier to increasing women's participation in workforce. But they talk about the ripple effect. Ripple effect का मतलब होता है एक चीज कहीं पे होना, एक इवेंट कहीं पे होना, उसकी वजह से कुछ इम्पैक्ट किसी और जगह होना. That is called ripple effect. And they talk about India, and they say how in India women have been historically marginalized from the workforce and comprise 35.9% of the worker population ratio. And अगर आप senior और middle management positions की बात करो तो वहाँ पे it's just 12.7% of women in leadership roles. So we'll talk more about this article when we come back to our analysis. On the left hand side, you see tyranny of numbers, federal principles, democratic impulses are in conflict over delimitation. डिलिमिटेशन मैं आपको ऑलरेडी एक्सप्लेन कर चुका हूँ, सो ये आर्टिकल आप पढ़ सकते हो एंड समझ सकते हो. Beyond Beijing unlocking a feminist future in India. So this is an article where we would be discussing the Beijing Declaration and the platform for action. जो Beijing meeting हुई थी, that happened in 1995. So ये जो meetings है, ये UN conduct करवाता है. And UN ने अभी तक ये women वाली 4 meetings conduct करवाई हैं. And the first one I think happened in Mexico in 1975. Then the next one happened in Copenhagen in 1980. The third one happened in Nairobi in 1985. And the fourth one happened in Beijing in 1995. I guess I'm correct in this. So यहाँ पे डिस्कस क्या हुआ था, बीजिंग मीटिंग में 17,000 डेलीगेट्स आए थे 189 कंट्रीज के, एंड इंडिया से 200 इंडियन वुमेन पार्टिसिपेटेड अलॉन्ग विद गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया. एंड वहाँ पे डिस्कशन हुआ था रिगार्डिंग पॉवर्टी रिडक्शन, एजुकेशन एंड ट्रेनिंग, हेल्थ वायलेंस against women, women's economic empowerment, and influence in decision making. So they talk about visible evidence of changes, they talk about various schemes, they talk about how the violence, although has not reduced substantially. Then they talk about a guiding framework because it's the 30th anniversary of the Beijing Declaration, 1995 से 2025 30 साल हो गए हैं. So we'll talk about this in a little more detail when we come back to our analysis. On the left hand side, you see Trump seems oblivious to long-term sequences of his policies. This is not important for us. You guys can give it a casual read, but वही सारी चीजें हैं जो हम रोज डिस्कस करते हैं, Trump and his policies, trade tariffs and all of those things. Is artificial intelligence affecting critical thinking skills? Now, this is an interesting article which talks about to what extent should AI be allowed in classrooms, not just school classrooms, but also college and university programs. And they say कि उसके क्या negative effects हो सकते हैं? क्या is this affecting how students think because they are getting too dependent or too reliant on artificial intelligence? Now, I don't know आप लोग कितना AI use करते हो, but when we were in college and when AI was a new thing, wow, I sound old when I say when we were in college. College just ended for me. Anyway, तो हम जब college में थे, like 4th and 5th year में, AI was, the buzzword, and it was new, and everyone started using it for projects and stuff. And obviously, the teachers were not happy because almost every project used to look similar, if not same. And that became quite an issue. And first, teachers started implementing tougher policies कि no chat GPT would be used. And जो tools जहाँ पे हमें project submit करना होता था, जो platform होता था, वहाँ पे भी जो है AI उन्होंने ban कर दिया कि अगर AI detect होगा आपके project के content में, तो you would be losing marks or you would be failed in that subject. But law students, being smart law students, they found loopholes to that as well. But वो मैं आप लोगों को नहीं बताऊंगा, of course, खुद से ढूंढो. ठीक है, चलो. So article यही डिस्कस करता है कि should AI be permitted in college classrooms? If yes, then to what extent? And the courses are being developed with AI. In that case, do you think AI will slowly be seen as a critical part of the education infrastructure? With AI to stay, do you think we should accept it in regulated manner rather than being critical about it? And there are concerns that students may become overly dependent on AI generated responses. Are these valid? Now, this is an interesting conundrum because see, AI is here to stay. AI को आप हटा नहीं सकते, AI को आप रोक नहीं सकते. What you can do is integrate your curriculum in a manner. Like this is my suggestion. I think author also जिनका इंटरव्यू है वो भी यही कह रहे हैं कि rather than being critical of AI, you should work along with AI and develop your academic curriculum in such a manner कि AI को आप leverage करो ना. फालतू की चीजें जो हैं, जो मान लो rote learning है, वो करने की जरूरत नहीं है. And students should focus on critical thinking. So obviously, we being smart law students at Nalsar, we had smart law professors as well at Nalsar who were smart enough to craft questions in such a way कि AI पे उनका आंसर नहीं मिलता था. You could spend hours googling it, chat GPTing it, or whatever, but you would not find a good comprehensible and answer which you could fetch marks on. So questions इस तरीके से डिजाइन किए उन लोगों ने, which salute to those professors who were smart enough to even counter AI at that point of time. I don't know अभी कैसे चल रहा है scene, but that is the thing कि you have to evolve, teachers as well as students. You can't really escape it. Anyway, moving ahead, an officer from CM asked for journalists, so this is not important. Academic link between Nepal and India. This is in context with that kid controversy which happened, kid Bhubaneswar, जहाँ पे Nepali female student committed suicide. And just पढ़ लेते हैं हम इस article की. It says that on Feb 16, a third year Nepali woman student was founded by suicide in Kit. Nepal's academic relationship with India and Indian institutions illustrate a rich history. Without even being colonized, the colonial legacy of Nepal's education system was established through two routes. First, by affiliating first college in Nepal to universities of colonial India, thereby diminishing any opportunity to premise pedagogy around Nepali roots and branches. And the second was through college instructors. Basically, they're trying to say that we have had very close ties with Nepal in terms of their students coming to our country for education, their universities taking accreditation and recognition from our universities. Higher education training embeds avenues for register. Learning experience has impactful memories which shape future and lives. So yeah, that's pretty much about it. Then moving ahead, how Chava erases history and leaves no room for complexity. So this is, the problem with the artistic liberty that people in India don't understand art or a movie as a movie. They just think that if a movie is being portrayed, if a historical fact is being portrayed in a movie, then that is the true fact. So movies use a lot of dramatization and movies work on evoking emotions. I think I mentioned here. History in cinema becomes merely a tool to evoke anger, disgust, and hatred. It robs us from understanding history in all its complexity. Chava's world of Hindus versus Muslims, Indians versus foreigners is far from the real 17th century. That is the whole issue. दैट जो रियल हिस्ट्री है वो चीज़ आपको मूवी देख के नहीं समझ आएगी. उसके लिए आपको टेक्स्ट बुक्स पढ़नी पड़ेंगी, उसके लिए आपको स्क्रिप्चर्स पढ़ने पड़ेंगे, उसके लिए आपको कमेंट्रीज पढ़नी पड़ेंगी. बट नो वन वांट्स टू डू दैट एफर्ट. नो वन वांट्स टू कमिट टू दैट एकेडमिक रिगर. मूवी देखो, मूवी से जो समझ आया, ओके हिंदू मुस्लिम अलग अलग लड़ाई कर रहे थे तो हम भी लड़ाई करने लग जाते हैं, विच इज प्रीटी डाउन. I even saw like videos of people going across Delhi's different lanes and highways where they were pasting posters of Chhatrapati Shivaji on roads which were named after Mughal emperors. So Akbar Road जैसे दिल्ली में है, औरंगजेब रोड है, शाहजहां रोड है. तो ये जो रोड के साइन बोर्ड्स हैं उनके ऊपर they were pasting like posters and then putting milk on it and all of those stuff. Now, I don't want to get into the religious aspect of it or the communal aspect of it, but from a civic sense point of view, it does not make a lot of sense to me personally, because I think even if you want to protest against something, there's a right way to doing it. I think एक बार हमने discussion किया भी था इस पे. But anyway, that is what the article is saying कि there is no room for nuance and details when you understand history through movies. And they give you examples from the movie Chava. And they talk about how in movies Hindus and Muslims are shown in binary, although that was not the case. It was quite a mixed society even back then, like it is now. So वही चीज़ है. Then 2611 accused says he will be tortured if sent to India. So currently he is in Los Angeles जहाँ पे ये hearing चल रही है. And वो कह रहा है कि भाई मुझे इंडिया मत भेजो, वो लोग तुम्हें तड़पा तड़पा के मार देंगे. Tahavur Ranas please says his severe medical conditions would render his extradition a de facto death sentence. The likelihood of torture is higher since he's a Muslim of Pakistani origin, it adds. Two of three Indians executed in Feb by UAE buried, says External Affairs Ministry. Chief of Defence Staff visit to Australia boost cooperation on shared priorities. Okay. INSV Tarini with two women Navy officers leaves Port Stanley. So Port Stanley is in Falkland Islands, and this is a mission, this INSV Tarini, where two women naval officers are on a mission to circumnavigate the globe. What is the name of the two officers? Commander Dilna and Commander Rupa. Lieutenant Commander Dilna and Lieutenant Commander Rupa. And this mission is called Navik Sagar Parikrama Part 2, क्योंकि एक बार पहले भी हो चुकी है. So these are the things which you need to know. ये एक important one-liner बन सकता है. So you need to know the name of the vessel, INSV Tarini, and you need to know the name of the commanders, naval officers, Lieutenant Commander Dilna K and Lieutenant Commander Rupa, and you need to know the name of the mission, which is Navik Sagar Parikrama Part 2. ठीक है जी. बाकी और क्या है हमारे लिए important? Let's see. Pro-Khalistani protesters, not important. India, Tamil Nadu, फिशर फोक इन नॉर्थ श्रीलंका. ठीक है, ये तो हम डिस्कस कर चुके हैं. पीएम लाइकली टू विजिट श्रीलंका इन अप्रैल, लॉन्च सोलर पावर प्लांट प्रोजेक्ट. ओके, यू कैन सी हिम विद द न्यूली इलेक्टेड श्रीलंकन प्रेसिडेंट AKD Aruna Kumar Dissanayake. Recently came to India and then he also went to China. Anyway, moving forward, Maharashtra to start media monitoring center to identify misleading reports. Government launches AI Kosh, repository of data to build models and tools. What models? AI models. 14,000 GPUs have been commissioned for shared access, and more of it will be added on quarterly basis, says Ashwini Vaishnav. He also provided an update on government-supported effort to create a homegrown foundational AI model. So इसके बारे में हम करेंगे थोड़ा सा discussion. Important and अच्छा topic है ये. 1 lakh crore fund to stimulate private sector research and development close to approval. Collegium names High Court judge, Calcutta High Court judge for elevation to Supreme Court. What's the name? The name is Justice Joy Malia Bagchi. Okay. Then auto retail sales. Okay. Nothing important here. Zelensky thanks Europe for supporting Kyiv after US rift. Trump warns Gaza that you're dead if hostages are not freed. Hamas seeks lasting truce in exchange for hostages. Okay, same old things. सरप्राइज वरुण. ठीक है, नथिंग इम्पोर्टेंट इन स्पोर्ट्स. यहाँ पे एक चीज़ है ये कि सुनील छेत्री, who recently retired from international football, is going to come back from his retirement to play the match with Bangladesh in the AFC Asian Cup. So for football fans, this could be an interesting match. For cricket fans, tomorrow the final of the Champions Trophy is happening between India and New Zealand. Tomorrow, sorry, day after tomorrow on Sunday. Okay, Rohit Sharma, okay. All right, so that's about the newspaper, guys. 3 articles. One was AI Kosh and 2 editorial articles. Let's talk about them and then let's move towards our Menti quiz. Let me just quickly share the tab with you all. Okay, considering even Shambhaji fought against the Maratha for Mughal, yeah. Okay, so let's go to discussing the 3 topics. So AI Kosha, this is basically initiative by the government to develop India ka model, which is equivalent to the ChatGPT or the DeepSeek recently launched by China. So the thing is कि जब DeepSeek launch हुआ, then everyone started panicking because China made a very powerful computational model at a very low cost. So Indian government, US government, US companies like Meta, Google, and all of those started ramping up their efforts towards development of AI. And India also have launched the India AI mission. And under that India AI mission, we are developing this AI Kosha, which is going to be a repository of data. What do we mean by repository of data? So when you talk about ChatGPT or DeepSeek, these are essentially at core LLMs, which means language learning models. Basically, they are trained on different data sets, है ना. आप उनको बहुत सारा data देते हैं और वो उसको process करते हैं, उसको सीखते हैं. That is why they are called language learning models. And based on that data, they give you responses and they give you answers. तो यही डेटा सेट्स का एक कंपाइलेशन, एक प्लेटफॉर्म है AI Kosha, which the government has launched. And इसमें क्या क्या रहेगा? इसमें currently there are approximately 300 data sets which are मोस्टली रिलेटेड टू ट्रांसलेशन टूल्स फॉर इंडियन लैंग्वेजेस. तो जैसे हिंदी को लेट्स से मराठी में कन्वर्ट करने के लिए, मराठी को पंजाबी में कन्वर्ट करने के लिए, अभी वो वाला इसका फेज चल रहा है. एंड इसके बाद दे वुड बी एडिंग इवन मोर डेटा सेट्स. एंड ये जो कंप्यूटेशनल कैपेसिटी होती है फॉर अ एआई लैंग्वेज मॉडल, दैट इज बेस्ड ऑन हाउ मेनी जीपीयूज आर इन्वॉल्व. ठीक है, प्रोसेसिंग यूनिट्स होते हैं ये. एंड आप लोगों ने अगर लैपटॉप वगैरह हाई एंड कभी खरीदा हो तो भी शायद ये वर्ड सुना हो आपने, जीपीयू वगैरह. गेमिंग वगैरह में भी यूज होता है. एंड आपका क्रिप्टो करेंसी में भी ये वर्ड हो सकता है आपने सुना हो, क्रिप्टो माइनिंग के लिए भी यूज होता है जीपीयू एंड ऑल ऑफ दोस थिंग्स. सो ये जीपीयू लेते हैं बहुत ज्यादा स्पेस भी, बहुत ज्यादा पावर भी, बहुत ज्यादा इलेक्ट्रिसिटी भी, and they're costly as well. So not everyone can make a, keep a big GPU at home and start making their own data model. तो उसके लिए गवर्नमेंट इज सपोर्टिंग बाय प्रोवाइडिंग 14,000 GPUs. एंड इसमें फायदा ये है कि they would be opening the access to using this particular power, so academic institutions can also participate in training this particular AI model, ताकि जल्दी से ट्रेन हो जाए और जल्दी से बन जाए. इस मिशन के लिए दे हैव एलोकेटेड अप्रोक्सीमेटली 10,370 crores. ये भी आप लोगों को मैं बता देता हूँ. 10,370 crores is the allocation for this particular AI कोश initiative. एंड इसमें काफी सारे डेटा हमने ऑलरेडी लोड कर दिया है, which includes data from various open data initiatives of the globe. It includes health data of Indians. It includes the census data, the previous 2011 wala census. It includes satellite imagery, which is captured by Indian satellites of the Indian landscape. It includes pollution data, meteorological data. So the point of putting all this data in this particular AI model is to make a model which is specific to the needs of India, which is customized for Indian users. एंड दे सेड कि अब जो है डीपसीक ने इतनी प्रोग्रेस कर ली है, ओपन एआई ने इतनी प्रोग्रेस कर ली है, तो गवर्नमेंट इज आल्सो टेकिंग मोर एफर्ट टू एग्रीगेट दिस डेटा एंड टू मेक अ पावरफुल मॉडल. ठीक है, दैट इज प्रीटी मच ऑल अबाउट इट. इसके लिए इन्होंने काफी सारे डेजिग्नेटेड चीफ डेटा ऑफिसर्स भी अपॉइंट किए अक्रॉस वेरियस मिनिस्ट्रीज एंड डिपार्टमेंट्स, जो ये डेटा सेट्स प्रोवाइड करेंगे इस लैंग्वेज मॉडल को. एंड 2018 की अगर हम बात करें तो उस टाइम एक कमेटी भी बनी थी जहाँ पे द गवर्नमेंट asked different firms to provide startup related data and non personal data जो भी होता है. जैसे ट्रैफिक डेटा हो गया फॉर फ्रॉम एप्स लाइक उबर एंड ओला, उनके पास कितना सारा सोचो डेटा होगा रोज का, कि एक जगह से दूसरी जगह तक जाने में कितना टाइम लगता है, कितने पैसे लगते हैं, कौन लोग कितने पैसे स्पेंड करते हैं. ऑल ऑफ दैट डेटा इज हेल्पफुल फॉर मेकिंग एन एआई बेटर. सो इस कमिटी ये जो बनी थी 2018 में, इसको हेड कर रहे थे इन्फोसिस के को फाउंडर क्रिस गोपाल कृष्णन. एंड उन्होंने अपनी रिपोर्ट सबमिट करी 2020 में, लेकिन उस टाइम उतना ज्यादा रिस्पांस नहीं आया उस पर. एंड प्राइवेट प्लेयर्स ने अपना डेटा देने से मना भी कर दिया काफी सारे. सो वो प्रोजेक्ट थोड़ा सा होल्ड पे चला गया. बट अगेन दिस इज अ न्यू इनिशिएटिव व्हिच वी हैव स्टार्टेड, एआई कोश. एंड लेट्स सी हाउ सक्सेसफुल दिस बिकम्स. Let's move to the next article ka discussion, which is Women in Corporate Leadership, the Lived Reality. Now, as we were discussing, we were talking about the numbers ki India mein like approximately 30-40% are only participating in the corporate sector, which I believe is also not the true number, because you're also not taking into account the rural participation. ये सब urban वाला data है ये. तो अगर आप पूरा overall data लोगे तो I think the number would be much much lesser. But even if we take this data to be true, कि जो 35.9% इन्होंने बोला है, इसमें भी they say that only 12.7% of women are in leadership roles. And the primary reason behind this number reaching this particular percentage is also the regulation which the government brought in, which is specifically the Companies Act of 2013. So Companies Act में एक amendment हुआ था 2013 में, जिसमें काफी सारे changes हुए थे. One of the major changes were कि this was a mandate in the Company Act कि at least एक women director होनी चाहिए on the board of every public listed company. तो जो भी publicly stock market पे listed company है, चाहे national stock exchange पे या Bombay stock exchange पे, उनके जो भी board of directors हैं, जो top people हैं, जो which who run the company, वहाँ पे at least एक female has to be there. This is a law, ठीक है? You cannot take this as optional. This is mandatory. एंड फिर 2015 ने सेबी में भी, सेबी जो विच इज सिक्योरिटी एंड एक्सचेंज बोर्ड ऑफ इंडिया, उन्होंने भी मैंडेट कर दिया कि एटलीस्ट एक इंडिपेंडेंट वुमेन डायरेक्टर होनी चाहिए इन टॉप 1000 लिस्टेड कंपनीज. तो जैसे लिस्ट होती है ना डिफरेंट मार्केट कैप के बेसिस पे कंपनीज की, जैसे टॉप 50 कंपनीज उनको निफ्टी 50 कहते हैं, टॉप 100 निफ्टी 100 कंपनीज हो गई हैं एंड सो ऑन. सो जो टॉप 1000 कंपनीज हैं लिस्टेड कंपनीज इन इंडियन स्टॉक मार्केट्स, उनमें एटलीस्ट एक इंडिपेंडेंट वुमेन डायरेक्टर होना जरूरी है इन द बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स. सो इस वजह से जो है विमेन का पार्टिसिपेशन इन द कॉर्पोरेट सेक्टर एंड इन द सीनियर लीडरशिप रोल्स थोड़ा सा बढ़ भी गया है. उसमें भी इन्होंने जब डेटा ट्रैक करा जो नेशनल स्टॉक एक्सचेंज की 500 लिस्टिंग कंपनीज का, उन्होंने देखा कि आफ्टर दिस पर्टिकुलर लेजिस्लेशन द नंबर हैज गॉन फ्रॉम 5% टू 18%. 18% ये रिसेंटली 2023 का डेटा है. So they're saying कि at a very fundamental level, the presence of women in corporate setup has a lot of advantages. It provides you a depth of talent pool. It provides you diversity. It provides you different educational perspectives, different leadership styles, different types of discussions, different way of value delivery. So they're saying कि we should definitely focus more towards this. And अभी लाइक ऑलवेज जो होता है, इंडिपेंडेंस डे पे देशभक्ति जागती है, विमेंस डे पे फेमिनिज्म जागता है, तो उसी कॉन्टेक्स्ट में है ये सारा डिस्कशन. 2 दिन बाद कोई नहीं करेगा ये डिस्कस, विच इज द सैड पार्ट ऑफ यू नो these discussions. But anyway, चलो एटलीस्ट एक दिन तो डिस्कस हो रहा है साल में. That is a good step in the right direction. So that is basically what this article is about. They're saying that women should focus on relationship building, greater stakeholder commitment, and formulating strategies, addressing stakeholder concerns, making a broader human capital management. जो fancy words लिखे हुए आर्टिकल में, कहना सिर्फ यही चाह रहा है कि women का participation corporate में बढ़ाओ. ठीक है, चलो थर्ड आर्टिकल की बात कर लेते हैं. नाउ दिस थोड़ा सा हैज अ स्टैटिक कंपोनेंट एज वेल. मैं आपको जो बता रहा था, विमेन कॉन्फ्रेंस जो करी थी यूएन ने, 4 विमेन कॉन्फ्रेंस 1975, 80, 85 एंड 95 इन द सिटीज ऑफ मेक्सिको, कोपेनहेगन, नायरोबी and Beijing. So the latest one was Beijing 1995, जहाँ पे this article says that almost 189 countries participated, and they formulated a Beijing declaration which had certain pointers as to what we are going to work upon in order to make things more gender inclusive for women. एंड उसमें काफी सारे इन्होंने पैरामीटर्स सेट करे, जैसे पॉवर्टी रिडक्शन, एजुकेशन, ट्रेनिंग, हेल्थ, वायलेंस अगेंस्ट वुमेन, इकोनॉमिक डेवलपमेंट, डिसीजन मेकिंग, वो सारी चीजें. तो इंडिया के भी पार्टिसिपेट कर रहे थे इसमें. लाइक इट सेज 200 प्लस डेलीगेट्स फ्रॉम इंडिया इंक्लूडिंग द गवर्नमेंट एज वेल. And then they go on to say that Beijing Declaration के बाद से काफी काम हुआ है in terms of women empowerment, in terms of promoting equality. They talk about various initiatives which have been launched by the government. They talk about various schemes जैसे PM सुरक्षित मातृत्व अभियान. हम recently जब maternal mortality discuss कर रहे थे कल परसों, तो भी हम इस स्कीम की बात कर रहे थे. They also talk about PM मातृ वंदना योजना. तो ये दोनों जो स्कीम्स हैं, these are primarily related to health of women and also maternity benefits of women. इस आर्टिकल में भी कोटेड है वो डेटा कि मेटर्नल मोर्टेलिटी जो है कम होके 9700 तक आ गई है in the year of 2020. And they also talk about how there is more awareness among women regarding reproductive health, regarding contraceptives, and all of those things. Then they also go on to tell you about the success of the Jan Arogya Yojana, which is a healthcare scheme, in fact world's largest government funded healthcare scheme, which has given free access to medical health to a lot of women. They also talk about how the new education policy 2020 has brought in more women into the education domain, and more women are now participating in STEM fields. What are STEM fields? Science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. These are STEM fields. And इसके लिए भी काफी सारे initiatives हमने चलाए, जैसे बेटी बचाओ बेटी पढ़ाओ, which were important in improving the ratio of women, or I would say girls, in schools. And then they talk about how we have developed a technological infrastructure which has also empowered women, be it about UPI, which promotes seamless digital payments and savings and investment for women, be it providing them support and credit through the Antyodaya Yojana, Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana, which is a rural livelihood related scheme which has empowered 100 million rural women by providing them livelihood opportunities, by providing them credit, by providing them various financial literacy programs. They also talk about the digital saksharta abhiyan, which basically means an initiative which was launched by the government to make women more equipped with using technology, with digital literacy. So this article claims that 35 million rural women were empowered through this particular digital saksharta abhiyan. Pradhan Mantri Gramin Digital Saksharta Abhiyan is the full name. And this has increased their participation in the digital economy. But it's not just all rosy. They say that there are still a lot of challenges left. Gender based violence is still a major challenge, especially for our country, where many women are still facing violence here and there. And they're saying that establishment of one-stop centers where women can seek help should be on our priority. And they also talk about how in the recent BNS, which was launched last year, not launched but implemented last year, provides more protection for women's safety and justice, as more legal mechanisms to prevent sexual assault or harassment for women. So that is basically what the article is trying to sum up, that we have made major progress in terms of bringing women to an equal pedestal, but there's still a long, long way to go. Then background I already gave you. This was Women Conference, World Conference on Women, which was organized by the United Nations, and the fourth World Conference on Women थी that happened in 1995 in Beijing, जहाँ पे ये सारे agendas were discussed, and this is the 30th anniversary of that declaration, and that is what this article is addressing, कि अभी भी काफी सारे critical areas हैं जिन पे हमें focus करने की जरूरत है, like women in decision making, promoting the girl child, improving the environment, improving safety, all of those things. So that is what it is about. ठीक है जी. That brings us to the analysis part of to the conclusion of the analysis part of the session. Let's talk about vocabulary for the day. The first word is pecuniary. Pecuniary मतलब होता है related to money, related to finances. आप लोगों ने पता नहीं सुना नहीं सुना, काफी बार वर्ड यूज होता है pecuniary jurisdiction, which means कि एक कोर्ट कितने अमाउंट तक के केसेस के मैटर सुन सकता है, कि कोर्ट के पास pecuniary jurisdiction है कि नहीं. अगर लेट्स से 10 लाख रुपए का अमाउंट है तो ये वाला कोर्ट सुनेगा. कॉम्पेंसेशन की मैं बात कर रहा हूँ, केस के जो क्वांटम ऑफ मनी इन्वॉल्व है, अगर 1 करोड़ तक का है तो ये वाला कोर्ट सुनेगा. सो दिस इज हाउ पेक्यूनरी जुरिस्डिक्शन वर्क्स. देयर इज टेरिटोरियल जुरिस्डिक्शन, कि किस कोर्ट की टेरिटरी में आता है जुरिस्डिक्शन. देयर इज आल्सो पेक्यूनरी जुरिस्डिक्शन. तो ये बस एग्जांपल दे रहा हूँ मैं कि ये वर्ड कैसे यूज हो सकता है. पेक्यूनरी मींस रिलेटेड टू मनी. She denies obtaining a pecuniary advantage by deception. Financial, monetary, economic are synonyms. Non-financial is antonym. The second word is affront. Affront मतलब होता है an act or expression showing scorn and usually intended to hurt others' feelings. Insult, offense, sarcasm. Antonyms are compliment, praise, commendation. Took it as an affront that she wasn't invited to say a few words at the ribbon cutting ceremony. Basically, बेइज्जती कह सकते हो आप आसान भाषा में. जानबूझ के की गई बेइज्जती, किसी को ऑफेंड करने के लिए. The third word is insipid. Insipid means lacking in taste or flavor, bland, thin, tasteless. Antonyms are loathsome. Loathsome तो नहीं होगा. Antonym इसका tasty होगा, disgusting भी नहीं होगा. एक गलत आ गया यहाँ पे. पर ठीक है. Bland, thin, tasteless can be synonyms. An apple pie with a mushy, insipid filling that strongly resembles soggy cardboard. Oh my god, that's quite a picture. So these are the words. Insipid, which means lacking in taste or flavor. Then affront means insult or offense or sarcasm. Pecuniary means related to money. And that brings us to the end of our vocabulary part as well. Okay, Vedika is saying what are the important topics for static GK? Well, that's a long answer to that question. चलो इसको सेशन के बाद हम डिस्कस करते हैं, but let's start with our Menti quiz, guys. So Menti quiz का मैं आप लोगों को जल्दी से कोड बता देता हूँ. For people who are new to the process, Menti is a quizzing platform which we use every Friday to have an MCQ based quiz, and I'll basically be sharing a code with you guys, a numerical code जो आपको डालना है on a website called www.menti.com. I'm putting that website in the chat box, menti.com, menti.com. And the code for today's quiz is 45243048, 45243048. This is the code for the quiz. You guys can put that code and join the quiz very quickly, and then we shall start the quiz. मैं quiz share कर देता हूँ आप लोगों के साथ स्क्रीन पे भी. Okay, I hope this is visible. So another alternate way to join the quiz is using this QR code. Scan it through your mobile phones, or you can just open a new tab and go to menti.com and put in this numerical code. Don't leave the stream because we'll be communicating through that. But yeah, jaldi se join kar lo and put in your name so that we can begin. I'll be waiting for 30 seconds before we start the quiz for everyone to register. Also, once again, reminder guys, please turn up for the 8 p.m. session. Okay? At least attend the session and see if it's helpful for you or not. And if you don't find it helpful, then you can give me suggestions, you can give me inputs, or you can share it with other people who you think might find it helpful. But I think मजा आएगा. ठीक है, मस्ती करेंगे सेशन में एंड थोड़ी सी लर्निंग भी कर लेंगे साथ साथ. Okay, are we done guys? Have we registered? I'll see कितने लोग आ गए हैं क्विज पे. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 players are ready. Can we do 15? Okay, 13 14 15. Okay, 15 हो गए हैं. क्या बात है. Can we do 16? दिल मांगे more. 16 भी हो गए हैं. Can we do 17? I'm a little greedy. Okay. ठीक है, I'll wait for just 10 more seconds because I think someone's internet is fluctuating. 17 भी हो गए. What is the time right now? It's 3:41. So I'll wait for 10-15 more seconds and then we shall start the quiz. ठीक है, तब तक आप लोग अपने नेम चेंज कर लो. आई थिंक अभी आपके पास ऑप्शन आ रहा होगा टू एडिट योर नेम. प्लीज एंटर थ्रू योर रियल नेम सो दैट आई कैन आइडेंटिफाई हु इज परफॉर्मिंग टू व्हाट एक्सटेंट. एंड आप लोगों को भी मजा आएगा इफ यू सी योर नेम ऑन द लीडर बोर्ड. Also, for people who are doing it for the first time, rules बता देता हूँ मैं. You would have an MCQ based question, 10 questions MCQ based. Only one option is correct. There's no negative marking, so attempt all the questions and answer them as quickly as possible because you get more points if you answer it quickly. ठीक है? Chalo, with that, let's begin. I think I have given sufficient time. Let's start with the first question, which is coming up for you guys on your screen in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Only 3 people got this right. So the Mahakumbh Stampede was in news for a very long time. And फिर उसकी इन्वेस्टिगेशन के लिए फॉर द पीपल हु डाइड इन दैट ट्रेजेडी उसके लिए एक जुडिशियल कमेटी बनाई गई एंड उस जुडिशियल कमेटी को चेयर कर रहे हैं जस्टिस हर्ष कुमार एंड दैट इज द राइट आंसर. ओनली 3 people गॉट दिस राइट. यू गाइज नीड टू स्टार्ट वर्किंग ऑन योर डेली करंट अफेयर्स, डेली वन लाइनर्स. सिर्फ एडिटोरियल पढ़ के काम नहीं चलेगा, सिर्फ मंथली कंपेंडियम्स पढ़ के काम नहीं चलेगा. यू नीड टू cater to a daily source. क्या बात है, किसी ने मेरे नाम से एंटर किया है. क्या बात है, नाम रोशन किया आज तो. बहुत बढ़िया. Fastest response and correct response also. Lovely. Okay, Ashnoor and Webb have got this right apart from my impersonator. Let's go to second question. 15-16 players with us. The second question coming up for you guys now. Oops. Seems like a problem with the Menti platform. This does not usually happen, guys. Let me just refresh it. I hope nothing goes wrong. Well, this is strange. We will see what happened. Sorry about this, guys. Usually ऐसा नहीं होता है. Okay, we're back. क्या बात है. Let's just start from here. क्या दिक्कत है भाई. चलो ठीक है. The quiz is working. Let's go to the third question. I could see that 6-7 people got it right. The answer was SpaceX Dragon for that question. उस मिशन का नाम था SpaceX Dragon, on which Mr. Shubhankar, who's an Indian Air Force pilot, went to ISS. अरे यार ये तो काफ़ी दिक्कत वाली बात है, बार बार ऐसे क्यों आ रहा है? दिस इज नॉट गुड. Okay, chalo. Nevertheless, we'll carry on with the quiz. I'll hope that the leaderboard shows up. Question number 4 for you guys. ये थोड़ा सा tough question है. I know this is a tough question, but let's see who can get this right. Yeah, what the hell? Should we restart the quiz or something? I've tried refreshing the page, but that's not helping. And this has happened for the first time. So I don't know how to resolve this. This is disappointing. चलो ठीक है. The answer to that question, what was the question? मैं check तो करूँ पहले. पीछे के कुछ आ ही नहीं रहे. Question क्या था, मैंने तो ध्यान ही नहीं दिया. What was the question about, guys? एक्वेरियन, हाँ, एक्वेरियन का मीनिंग पूछा था. एक्वेरियन का मीनिंग होता है फ्रेंडशिप. सो ऑप्शन सी वाज करेक्ट, जिन लोगों ने भी वो चूज किया है. तो मैं आप लोगों को चलो आंसर साथ साथ बताते हुए चलूंगा. विल सी इफ वी कैन फेच द लीडर बोर्ड. विच स्टेट इन इंडिया विल एस्टैब्लिश द फर्स्ट आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस यूनिवर्सिटी? ओके, आई होप एवरीवन हैज आंसर्ड. द करेक्ट आंसर फॉर दिस वन वाज महाराष्ट्र. सो जिन लोगों ने भी सही किया उन लोगों को आई एम होपिंग पॉइंट्स मिल गए होंगे. I'll try to access the final leaderboard. तो चलो अभी के लिए leaderboard छोड़ देते हैं. We'll just focus on the questions and the answers, and then we shall see from there. Shego Gale has been crowned Mrs. World, becoming the first black woman to win the title in 40 years of this competition's history. She hails from which country? This is also a little tough question. Okay, so time's up. The answer to that question was South Africa. Option number B. I don't know how many of you got that right. We'll check it later. Then question number 7. Let's go for it. Question number 7 is coming up for you guys now. Which UN organization did Trump withdraw from the US from through an executive order? Okay, the time's up. The correct answer to that one was UNHRC, the UN Human Rights Council, through which US was also providing funding to the Palestinian refugees, and अब US ने उससे withdraw कर लिया है through an executive order. ठीक है, चलो. Let's move on to the 8th question of this particular quiz. 8th question coming up for you guys now in 3, 2, 1. This question has been discussed in the class, so I'm hoping people who regularly attended the class should get this right. एक और अश्वत्थामा साहित्य अकेडमी अवार्ड. Okay, time's up. The right answer to that question was Dogri. This literary work is in Dogri language. Okay. Moving on to the second last question. Question number 9. Let's see if we can answer this correctly. India's Dash has become world's second most downloaded mobile app in food and drinks category. Oh, the leaderboard is back. Wow, lovely. Zepto is the right answer. 4 people got this right. 11 people got it wrong with Zomato. Zepto became the world's second most downloaded app in food and drinks category. Any guesses which is the first? Which is the app on the first position in the entire world in the food and drinks category? Anyone who would like to take a shot on this in the chat box? कौन सी होगी? आई एम ऑन द फर्स्ट पोजीशन. I'll wait for the next question. आप लोग मुझे responses दे दो YT के chat box में. Not moving to the next question. I'm waiting for your responses. No, it's not Uber Eats. Uber Eats is the wrong answer. Any other guesses? It's not Swiggy. Swiggy is in the top 10 list. Zomato is also in the top 10 list. But it's neither Swiggy nor Zomato. Zomato तो गलत है ही यार, ऑप्शन में ही दिख रहा है आपको क्वेश्चन में. चलो मैं बता देता हूँ. Anyone who wants to take any different guess? The answer is McDonald's. McDonald's की app is the most downloaded apps in the food category. And second number पे अब आ गई है Zepto. So I thought this is an interesting question. I'll put this in the quiz. ओके, लीडर बोर्ड भी आ गया है हमारे पास. ठीक है, गोविंद, अशनूर एंड यशस्वी got the right answer. अरे I'm still on the first position, followed by Ibrahim, then Ashnur, Yashashri, SP, Tenma, Penguin, Vidushi, Vaibhav, and Maverick. All right, so we're down to the last question, 10th question of the day. Let's go for it in 3, 2, 1. New repo rate set by RBI after the recent reduction. Most of you got this right. It's 6.25. पहले 6.5% था. 5 साल तक 6.5% रहा, बट अभी रिसेंटली ही आरबीआई ने अपना रेपो रेट जो है 25 बेसिस पॉइंट से कम किया है. नाउ इट इज 6.25. दिस इज एन इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन गाइस. रेपो रेट इज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फिगर इन टर्म्स ऑफ मैक्रो इकोनॉमी. सो आप लोगों को ये पता होनी चाहिए. ठीक है, चलो, let's look at the final leaderboard of the quiz. Let's see who's the winner. I'll not be counting my name, so whoever is impersonating me, no credits for that. So Braham is the winner for this particular quiz, no matter what the name shows. And then we have Arshnur, SP, Tenma, Yashashri, Vidushi, Vaibhav, Penguin, and Maverick. Well played, guys. Well done. I know आज का quiz थोड़ा सा glitchy हो गया, unfortunately, but I hope you enjoyed the questions nevertheless. ठीक है, that's all for today's quiz, guys. I hope this was fun, and we'll meet once again on the Menti quiz platform next Friday with another quiz. Next Friday का quiz is a surprise quiz. I won't disclose the topic beforehand. And थोड़ा सा लंबा करेंगे अगली बार वाला quiz. थोड़ा सा we'll try to push to 15-20 questions. एंड वील होप दैट कोई टेक्नोलॉजिकल दिक्कत ना आए. वंस अगेन रिमाइंडर, 8 बजे आज हम इंग्लिश वाला सेशन करने वाले हैं, सो प्लीज ज्वाइन इन फॉर दैट इफ यू कैन. आई वुड रियली अप्रिशिएट दैट. एंड या, दैट्स ऑल फॉर टुडे गाइस. थैंक यू सो मच. कीप लर्निंग, कीप प्रिपेयरिंग. साइनिंग ऑफ. बाय बाय.